in the camp. That's something I understand, but still it doesn't make it any easier. So we can't create any poisons here. Let's talk to some characters.
Something on your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
If you were raised in a chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
I had no idea that this was the subject of this question, but okay, let's be direct.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. Well, if you really want to know, you tell me first.
Let's see what we're going to say. Honestly, no, I haven't. Tell you what, of course I have.
And apparently you have no shame as well. Well, alright, I'll play along. I myself never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it. But, you know.
Quiet, dog. Oh, I see, you lack the proper parts. My goodness me, what a... okay. You've never had the opportunity?
Well, living in the Chantry is it's not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They raised me to be a gentleman. That's not so bad, is it?
Not really, no.
I've no urge to rush into anything. We may not even survive what is to come, after all. Enough. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's go.
Ha, but he likes it.
Something on your mind? Of course.
Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I suck up a good tale.
I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly.
That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
And what's the real reason?
You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you?
I do really want to know, yes.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything. The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from... I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
I think I understand.
Using the abilities I have came after years of education and discipline that was difficult to achieve, if rewarding. The sword never really felt at home in. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
Home is wherever camp is. We're travelers now.
We won't always be traveling, although that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it will ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now. Something on your mind?
Okay,
Of
let's
course.
just... Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are. Something on your mind?
Okay.
Of course.
So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Haha, very funny. I mean before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
So you mentioned before.
It's really for the best. I'm not exactly the Chantry type, if you haven't noticed. I don't think I would have made a very good Templar. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
You think Duncan took pity on you?
I don't know. Maybe. When he came looking for recruits, I just remember praying fervently to the Maker that he would pick me. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Okay, so he does like my answers. He's liking me more and more because I just want to, yeah, to have a good bond with all the characters. I have one with Liliana and of course with Doc, but not really with the rest of the characters here. But still, I don't know. I think the small gold bars for the rogue who will join our party eventually. And I think this one is for the dwarf, but yeah, I perhaps Liliana, but an ornate silver amulet in the shape of a sword. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's talk to Morrigan some more.
I await your command.
So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But you eventually left?
Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no... Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
+5, okay.
I await your command.
I'd like to discuss something personal.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Is there anything that can be done for a possessed mage?
Is the child abomination if what you seek is to remove the demon, there is a connection between only a mage and...
I know.
I await your command. So, full of questions.
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I have learned little of it.
No doubt such. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards. There was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Yes, I've heard this part.
The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his